teach me your paths, lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day long. Trust in you, let me not be put to shame. Let not my enemies exult over me. Indeed, none who wait for you shall be put to shame. Upright is, good and upright is, good and upright is the Lord. Good and upright is, good and upright is, good and upright is the Lord. Make me to know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths, lead me your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day long. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day long. My eyes are ever to Hey, everybody, it's Brad.
And I'm Christa.
With the Big Family Homestead. And we are here to talk about what the muckety mucks are saying about shortages of food in 2023. Yeah, we don't do fear. So just so you know, this is all about preparedness. And one really cool thing is, since we're doing this live instead of making a pre-recorded video, add your 2 cents in, because your chat is recorded and you can add in things that you think maybe weren't on their lists, or things that maybe you might even disagree with, because there's stuff we disagree with that is on this list.
Yeah. Yep.
So we've been looking around the internet trying to figure out, like everybody, what's going to be a challenge and what do we need to work?
What do we need to stock up on? What do we need to prepare for?
So be a part of the conversation. Add your 2 cents. That would be great. And first of all, since there's not a whole lot of people here, why don't you say hi to everybody, Mom?
Lola Granola, hello. Hi, Becky, Brenda, Laura, Michigan Lady, shalom. Joan, Gina, Ilka. I'm thinking
Ilka.
that's I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see if it's IL. I'm hoping. Jeanette, First Choice Cleaning, Michael R, and Shara. How you doing? And everybody who has not yet made a comment,
say hi.
Say hi.
Share the video, does help. Ilka, thank you for the compliment. Actually, that was music that I wrote and sang on. It's a psalm.
Yep.
And I've been recording a lot of those psalms as a memorization tool. So there's a link down below if you're interested. Anyway, let's get right down to it. Let's start with the list. We're going to go to item number 13. Oh, should you say where you found this?
Yeah, there is a website. It was funny because it was the very top website that came up, and it's called thedailymeal.com. Funny enough, but so yeah, the Daily Meal, and this is going to be the 13 food shortages to expect in 2023.
That's what they say.
That's their article, so we're going from that, and we will agree or disagree or say they're full of baloney.
Yeah, we ain't scared.
No.
So if you see something you disagree with, say it.
Right.
Yeah, or if you want to add, this is not necessarily shortages that are like, physical Second Amendment things or stuff like that, because that's a whole nother video. This is foodish stuff.
Right.
All right, tell them, Mom, what's it say about list number 13?
So number 13, they had to go with 13. They couldn't do 15 or 12. Anyway, I know I don't subscribe to, the bad number 13 in any way, but I don't like odd numbers. I like even numbers.
You only like odd husbands.
Yes, that's true. But I only have one of those, and I will only ever have one of those.
Thank you. Knock on wood. She's getting all choked up about it. I know what it is. It's that we're coming up on 30 years of marriage, and 30 years, that's kind of like a life sentence.
It is a life sentence. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat.
There's some cough drops right there, baby. So number 13. This is
13.
one that has been around before and seems to be persistent.
Yep, it's a pesky little problem of a shortage of infant formula. And I know there's so many people that have to use it because of one reason or another. But yeah, it's an ongoing thing right now. It's the White House intervened and all this other nonsense. Sure they did. But it's likely, this shortage is likely to remain until into the middle of this year.
Yeah.
My guess is it might continue.
Right now, they've got limits on what you can buy.
Yeah, you can only buy a certain amount. I don't know the exact number, but you can only buy a certain amount every day per child. So.
And you got to bring that child in. They have to be time stamped. They scan them. They take a little blood verification process.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They scan their foot. Bleep, bleep.
Well, that'll come soon when everybody's got a barcode on their foot, right?
Yep. Just gross. No, thank you.
No.
No
So,
barcodes.
Yeah. So yeah. we thankfully don't have, any children on formula. And I like to find alternatives to using
That's where I was
formula.
going to go with that.
I've never been one that would use formula. I breastfed all of our babies. And when they decided, Jonathan especially, when he decided at 6 months old that he did not want to be breastfed anymore, I did buy formula, but it was organic formula. But this was 22 years ago. So.
Well, and I understand that baby food formula is a convenience. It's a huge convenience for moms that are generally.
Well, moms who work. I mean, there are moms who have to work.
There's a lot going on.
Right. So I understand it's a necessity for some folks, but like Ilka is saying,
get a goat.
That's what we did to help out a friend of ours. I actually still have some frozen goat milk in the freezer because her child didn't need it any longer.
Yeah, and you know what? That's going to be a theme coming up that you'll see. Since we do preparedness, we do the homesteading thing. We try to make as much as we can on our own. You're going to see that we're going to suggest things like, hey, get some chickens. But we understand that not everybody can.
Yeah, right. Not everybody is able to do such a thing. So
do what you can.
If you are able, yes, do those things.
Mama Christ Jesus in the Christian Bible.
Awesome.
From Oshkosh. Where can I get a raw cow milk?
I really don't know.
A farmer.
Yeah, you're going to have to find a farmer and become friends with that farmer. And
don't tell anybody.
Don't talk about it because
we don't talk about Bruno.
In the state of Wisconsin, farm sales of raw milk is illegal. So
makes perfect sense, right?
Sure.
Because there's no cows around here, nobody milking.
Oh, there's so many cows,
and they never waste it. They never.
So much waste.
Yeah.
So much waste.
So there's 13. Let's move on to 12. By the way, some of these, I think that they did put these in order of what they think the serious level is. I'm not sure that some of these are in the correct order. Like this next one's like, okay, well maybe, and that is
olive oil. Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean Popeye's girlfriend.
Olive oil. That's funny.
If you're old enough to remember her, you saw the the Popeye with Robin Williams in it?
Yes, excellent.
Who was that? The olive oil. She was Susan,
no,
Shelley.
Can't remember her name at all. Can't remember her name at all, but she was perfect for that role. Tall and skinny, perfect for it. But so olive oil, there was a tree blight that bacteria in Latin America, and that's caused a lot of the production to be cut short.
Yeah, and you know what? We actually are friends with and do business with and love Pura Vida Moringa. And their owner was saying that that's one of the reasons why they got hit with a shortage too.
Oh, really?
Same kind of deal. That there was some issues with stuff getting onto the plants. I mean, they've resolved their issues a long time ago.
That's good.
But yeah, I remember him saying something about that.
Yeah. It's saying in this article that a third of the area's 60 million olive trees were unusable.
So if you're Italian, boy, oh boy, better stock up now.
No kidding.
The trick, though, with an oil, guys, is you can't really stock too much.
No.
Because it will go rancid.
Yep.
And actually, I saw a statistic that a majority of the olive oils that you get that are on store shelves are already rancid.
Yeah. Well, and they're also already cut with vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So be careful. Be careful. If that's you and you're like, I gotta have my fresh salad dressings, well, you might want to get a few things of olive oil.
I honestly, I don't even like olive oil.
It's you don't care for the taste.
No, the taste of it, especially the extra virgin. No, not the extra virgin. That's the lighter. But the green. Oh, I don't like it. Don't like it at all.
Well.
Anyway, so.
Hey, and you could also even just get some if you're interested in, bartering with people.
Yeah. So. But, olive oil is so expensive. It has always been super expensive.
It's good for you.
What is it?
Yeah.
Is it though?
Well, you could say that about eggs or meat or
no,
it
but
seems like every year or two, doctors come out and say, you know what, blah 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 is bad for you. Well, wait a minute, you said it was good last year. So
well, I don't know a lot about olive oil just because I don't like to spend a ton of money on oils. But I know coconut oil is really good for you and avocado oil, and those are both coconut oil is less expensive than avocado oil. Mm-hmm. But I prefer grapeseed oil. It's got no it's got no flavor. You're not adding any flavor, and I like coconut oil too, but
hey there, Misty Dawn. She's new.
Well, how you doing?
Hey. So, okay, this is a true story about oil, 10W30. And this was before I was a nice guy. This was before I was a believer. So you're going to have to hang in there. This was naughty Brad before I gave my life to the Lord. Is this
before I knew you?
No, but I was working at the music store.
Oh, yes. I remember this story now. Yes. Okay, very funny.
This story about, well, you'll just hear it. I was working at a music store, and there was a guy who ran a pawn shop a few miles down the road, and this guy was just a nasty, bitter, horrible, angry person all the time. You'd go in there, and this doesn't matter to me, but he always carried open carry all the time, and I always got the impression that he was just going to haul off and shoot somebody one day. And he was just nasty. And so he called the music store one day, and I was like, oh, I know who this guy is. And he said, yeah, I got this keyboard. Somebody brought this thing in, and the keys are sticking good, and they won't play right. And so I need to know what you need to do. And I was not very nice, but here's what happened. I said, well, I'll tell you what, this is going to sound counterintuitive, and it's going to sound wrong. I understand. I thought it was BS first, too. So what you're going to do is you're going to get some 10W30, and you're going to pour that all down in the key bed. All those keys where the white keys and the black keys are, you're going to pour that all down in that keyboard. You're going to just mash it down. Then what you're going to do is you're going to tip it up and lean it out. And I could hear that he was writing this down. and you're going to let it drain out for at least 2 days. I said, make sure it's 10W30. And he's writing it down, 10W30, okay. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to wipe it off. It'll be fine. And he said, I said, okay, 10W30. That's all I need to do. I said, no, you idiot. You don't pour motor oil into an electronic keyboard. And that guy was mad. He was mad.
You couldn't go into that place for a while.
So that was before I was a nice guy. Yeah. So I repented. I repented. Don't pour motor oil into keyboard.
No.
Okay,
no.
Next up.
Oh my gosh. This one is shocking. Okay. Bread.
Yeah.
Bread is going to be in shortage. Bake. Learn how. Stock up on some wheat berries, folks. Stock up on some flour. Package it up into Mylar bags and in buckets. Just set it aside.
Vacuum
because
seal it.
You know what? You're going to need it. And I'll tell you this. I know for us, what happened for us. We started setting aside white flour, okay? Now, white flour is not supposed to last as long as wheat berries, right? But when we put it in Mylar bags and in a bucket, right? We put oxygen absorbers in there, sealed it up, closed it up in 2011. This is when we did this.
We just did this.
We packaged this particular bucket up in 2011. Okay, that was 12 years ago now.
Should be bad. Should
be rancid, right? About 2 years ago, I opened that bucket because we were out of flour, out of already opened flour, and we didn't have. This wasn't 2 years ago. This was 4 years ago. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we didn't have money to go get it. We were short on cash, and so I opened up this bucket because I needed to make bread right now. And guess what? It was perfectly fine.
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
Oxygen
Delicious
absorber.
Bread, everything. It was fantastic. So if people say that it doesn't last but more than a year or two, they're full of baloney.
Well, do your own research.
Do your own research. This is what we did. This is how we had this particular result. And
yeah.
So, but the reason for the bread shortage is because 30. I saw 30% of the grain, the wheat that is grown, guess where, guys? Russia and Ukraine.
Yep, 30% of the world's wheat.
You know what? That's not coming over here anytime soon. So you got to find it locally.
Yep. Yep.
So,
and here's the thing. I saw a couple people saying thank you to you for teaching them how to bake bread.
I'm so glad.
And guys, learn how to bake bread.
Yes.
It's not that hard. We've got several videos. Well, Krista does. I mean,
they're our videos.
I just go blah, blah, blah. And
she
makes the bread. So look it up. It's far more delicious. It's far more, I don't even know how to say it. When you bake bread in the house, it's like a home, that home is where the heart is kind of thing. You smell the bread coming up. And
it's such a comfort food.
It is comfort.
Yeah, it is such a comfort food. When you smell bread baking, it's, yes.
Yeah.
That just takes you home. But what's really funny is I grew up, my parents never made bread. Your mom made bread.
No.
But not from scratch bread. She bought the frozen loaves, which at that time that was delicious.
It was good, no doubt. Yours is better. It's true.
Thank you. I really enjoy making bread.
You should enjoy that today.
Should I?
I want you to be enjoyable today. I want to enable your enjoyability.
Funny.
You're
so funny.
I want to help you enjoy yourself.
Okay, thank you, honey.
All right.
So I'm going to answer a question. Don't touch
it.
Don't touch it. So, my name is Nobody. Stop it. My name is Nobody's asking who makes the best bread machine.
Ooh.
Yeah, right here. Not me, but because I know BP Devo, he makes really, really good bread. But I cannot ever. I used to use.
We bought a bread machine a long time ago, and all it
20
ever
years
made
ago.
was
Bricks.
lumps.
It made bricks.
And I hate. This is the thing. I don't know if you. Okay, prepare yourself. I don't know if I've ever told you, but when you make the bread machine, the way that the thing goes in, it makes a bread hole right in the bottom because of the way that the
paddle, it leaves a hole in the bottom of the bread.
That's not even the worst part. After you've used it for a while, because you're supposed to oil the spindle with
There's
vegetable
oil on your bread.
It gets blackish, so you've got a black bread hole right there, and it's always been like, I don't want it.
I got rid of our bread maker ages ago. I think you bought one for me probably 20 years ago, and I tried it, and no, not flying. I actually really.
However, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think this thought will fit in.
Okay.
For people with arthritis, I understand.
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
I get it.
Yeah, because I am getting arthritis, and it's when I'm going to tell you a secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. When I need bread, I can knead the bread for about 5 minutes. I do for video, but I start getting a cramp in my arm right here. It's like a Charlie horse right in my arm. It's like I use my muscles all the time, but this muscle is cramping up really badly. Mm-hmm. So you know what I do? I throw it in the KitchenAid or the Bosch mixer, whichever one is available.
Yep.
Because
it tastes the same.
It tastes the same. It's actually it's much smoother if you put it into a mixer. You let it go for 5 or 10 minutes, and it just comes out really smooth, and it's really great.
I've seen 2 people saying that they like to use their bread machine for making the dough, then they put it into another pan or something.
The only problem is you're still getting that oil in your bread.
You get the bread hole.
Yeah. You're getting that oil in the bread.
You don't want the bread hole.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
I'm sure it bakes fine.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of times I prefer doing it by hand, but again, my muscles cramping. So
Moral of the story, learn how to bake bread.
Learn how to bake bread.
Watch her videos.
Right.
Here we go.
All right.
Ready? Tomatoes. And the reason why I wrote tomato instead of plural is because I actually went, I thought, is it TOMATO? Tomatoes or Tomatoes. And I saw websites that were like collegiate level websites fighting about who was right of what the plural is.
Well, plural tomatoes would be ES.
I know.
If you're talking about tomato seeds, it would be '.
And they were fighting about that.
And that's dumb because they're wrong.
And that's what they were saying about the other guy. The other guy was wrong. That's dumb. You're wrong.
That's dumb. They're wrong.
And there was like college
I'm right.
level
Mama's
stuff,
right.
like vocabulary, blah 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 blah. So I just, you know what? I'm gonna stay out of this. You fight the tomatoes people. You do the battle for plurality.
I teach children.
She's got good grammar.
I got
grammar.
I got the goodest grammar ever.
Yeah. So tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Yeah. What
They
is?
spelled it wrong in the article.
Where?
I'm kidding. It's the way you spell it.
I can't even see it.
Well, tell them.
Oh, I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so it says a third of the nation's vegetables and 75% of the fruit and nuts came from the Golden State. Okay. By and large, California offers wonderful weather and growing conditions for crops.
Tell us
exactly.
why.
There was a drought, and that caused a cataclysmic effect on the food supply.
We're reading off an article.
I am reading an article.
No, I'm just saying so that they understand why we're speaking
So,
in such bizarre terms.
But, California's been getting tons of rain right now.
Okay.
And, I mean, mudslides and everything. But, they've had a 3-year drought, and so that's causing a huge issue on growing tomatoes. Yeah. So, bottom line, even if you have an apartment,
garden,
grow some tomatoes in a pot. It works great.
Actually, we worked with in the past a company called Greenstock, and they make vertical gardens. Mm-hmm. So you get something like 40 or so buckets. It's a lot because there's 7 or is there 9
6.
on each level?
6.
Okay, well then it's not as many as I thought, but
30.
Still.
Yeah.
Because that's going to come in handy when we get to number 2 on this list. I don't want to say.
Yeah.
But those things, those vertical green stock gardens, they grow not stuff like tomatoes very well because they lean over and they hang down.
They vine down. And unless you put them on the bottom.
You could.
If you put the plants in the bottom, then it would just kind of lay on the deck or wherever.
But light stuff, leafy stuff, that kind of, they grow great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyway,
I would definitely put like a cherry tomato plant in
bush.
A bush plant in a pot. Put it on your deck, even in your house next to a window. You could still do it, but it's
all right, people.
Definitely.
I see that there's a lot of gardeners in here by the comment section. So, what's your favorite tomato variety? I think I know what yours is.
Yep, I have 2.
I like those little yellow pear-sized potatoes. Tomatoes. Mm-hmm. That'd be kind of cool if you could get yellow.
They have yellow pear and orange pear tomatoes, and they're both very delicious.
Great to look at in the garden. Easy to grow. You practically do nothing.
Yeah. Our kids kind of just feed in the garden when it's going. They just go out there and they just grab whatever they want.
They graze like cattle.
They really do. It's quite hysterical.
On all fours.
My favorite tomato that we can't grow here,
She's ignoring me?
Yep, I am. Is the
San Marzano.
The Cherokee purple or black crim. They're very similar.
Yep.
It's the flavor of them. Cherokee purple tomatoes are they have so much flavor. I just love them.
I'm seeing some interesting ones. Jet Star, never heard of it. Romas, of course. San Marzanos are great for pizza sauce.
Yep.
British cherry tomatoes. Interesting. Never heard of them.
There is another tomato. Actually, we're going to grow some this year. They're called Brad's Atomic Tomatoes, and they're cherry tomatoes.
Oh, my.
Uh-huh. They are Brad's Atomic.
Explosive?
Uh-huh. I don't know.
Well, they're atomic. I figure that's the kind of the implication.
Right. But, yeah. So we're going to grow some of those.
There's an interesting name from Old Glory Farm. Watermelon beefsteak tomatoes.
Yum.
Never heard of that.
Orange peach. There's some ox hearts are really good. We grew some of those this past year. Those are really, really good.
Can you get San Marzano in the U.S.? Yes, we've grown them.
Yep, we've grown them before.
Big boy.
Yeah, those are big ones. Yeah. We had a garden about 10 years ago in a place. Yeah, Brad Pitt. Haha. And we grew beefsteak tomatoes. I think they were orange beefsteak tomatoes, and we had done the biochar. Brad made the biochar. That was the best garden we'd ever had.
It's basically worm castings into straight up carbon.
Charcoal, yeah.
And so that's the basic thing of it. Yeah.
But the tomato plants, no lie, were 6 feet tall in a raised bed. And just a short, 12-inch deep raised bed. And no lie, there was a 2.5 pound orange beefsteak tomato. I'm not kidding. It was this big. It was huge. It was as big as my face.
Bigger than a softball, smaller than a volleyball.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we probably could have done better with those things if we trellised them better, but we didn't expect them to be so big.
No, we didn't. That was probably our third garden that we had done. So we were still learning. Oh, shoot, we're still learning. But yeah.
Yeah, who isn't?
Yeah, exactly.
So one quick thing, though, if you're interested in what biochar is, what it does, and how to make it, we do have a couple videos. I think there's 3 videos. Yep. It's super easy. You can do it at home.
Yep.
I did.
Yeah.
Still do.
Well, still do. You actually still have a barrel of some out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, moving on to the next item on the list. Here we go. On your mark, this one is no surprise.
Everybody knows about this one, eggs.
Yahtzee.
And why is there a shortage on eggs? Because apparently there's been bird flu.
Isn't that weird that every time... Nothing. I won't go political.
No. There's been bird flu, so millions and millions and millions of chickens have been culled because of the bird flu. And I actually was talking to a friend of ours who her husband works in the agricultural business here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And bird flu is such a farce because
according to this person,
we do have to be careful because bird flu is spread by other birds flying over, and it is killed by sunlight.
Let them outside.
Let your birds outside.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. Yeah.
So here's soapbox number 1. No, this is number 2.
Bink.
We had olive oil and this 3. Bread.
8.
Learn how to make bread. Watch the videos. Learn how to make bread. But soapbox number 3. If you can own chickens legally, and really, maybe secretly, but that's up to you. If you can own them legally, please do it now.
Yeah.
We did the math on what it costs us. Hold on.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to say we just did the math on this today. We
did the math on what it costs us to have organic, free range. Well, not now that it's cold, but they were allowed out when it's now there's snow everywhere. Yeah. But you would call them organic, free range eggs per egg when you consider the feed, the electricity, everything except the cost of the coop. Okay.
Right.
Everything except the cost of the coop, because we figure that's a one-time investment and done. 9 cents an egg is what it costs us.
Yep.
9 cents per egg.
Right.
That's $1.08 per dozen. Did you figure? You math geniuses. I think it was $1.08.
I think so. Yeah.
$1.10. Something like that.
I think it was $1.08. Yeah.
Maybe it was. Yeah. So how much are you guys paying for a dozen organic free range eggs? Because I've seen them around $8.
Even the conventional white eggs are 1 dozen is $4.80 some cents here in middle of Wisconsin.
Oh my gracious! And let me tell you what. Okay, they say they paid $7.50 for a dozen eggs yesterday. $10.
Ouch.
Oh my Lanta, come on over here. We'll just give you some.
Oh my gosh.
We have so many eggs, guys, that we give them to the church so that they can give them to people that need them.
Yeah, our church has a food pantry, so we just go in and stick them in the fridge.
Yeah. And it's great. They can use them and help some folks out. And we have what we need because God provides what we need, and He's provided it.
Right. Well, and actually we use not a lot, but we use some of the eggs to give to the horses. Gives them extra protein, and it makes
it right
a really shiny coat. Raw eggs straight into their alfalfa and grain, and
wow.
Yeah, they love it.
So if you can get chickens,
18.
let me tell you a little thing about chickens.
Yowza.
Chickens are so fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of like the joke among homesteaders in the self-reliant community is that chickens are the gateway drug into more whatever.
Yeah.
And it's true, because once you get chickens, you go, wow, that really wasn't that hard, and they're fun. And each chicken has its own personality. Some are shy, some want you to come right over. Like I trained our chickens just with food. That every time I'd walk outside and go, chickens, and then I'd go and grab them a scoop, just like a handful, and fling it close to me.
Right.
And then when they'd come running over, you pet them. Poof, they go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Poof. Yeah. And now when I walk outside, they all come running. They want to see what I got.
Yeah. They start eating it. They've started to eat out of his hand too.
Oh yeah. They'll climb on you. If you can get chickens, it's a win-win-win-win-win-win.
Right.
Yardbirds.
Yeah.
Funny.
So, we have the particular breed that we have. We've had them before and have had super great success with them. They're a super hardy bird. We've actually only lost one. We bought 30 of them in May. Raised them as chicks. They start laying at 4 months old. And since they started laying, we have gotten 27 to 29 eggs consistently every day. Every day. Hence why we give some to the horses, because we have so many.
Well, and we keep our neighbors stocked when they need it.
Our neighbors get plenty. We definitely share with those who need it. We definitely give to the food pantry, because we don't eat 2 dozen eggs every day. There's no way we could do that.
Couldn't even get Michael Phelps to eat 30 eggs in a day.
Ew, gross. No.
I was told that he eats over a dozen eggs a day.
Ugh. Yuck.
Guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He needs to keep up that protein.
Yeah. But what I wanted to tell you is the breed that we're using is an Isa Brown. They're super hardy. They lay 300 eggs. Each bird will lay 300 eggs per year.
Isn't that crazy?
So that's a great high production, high production bird. Yeah, the cost in Switzerland.
Yeah, Storm Bear in Switzerland, 12 eggs that's almost $1 an egg.
That's insane.
Ours are 9 cents.
Insane.
I'm not trying to be weird.
Right.
I'm just shocked.
Right. But also what has saved us a ton of money is fermenting the feed. Yes. We have 2 milk cows, and they give us way more milk than we can use every day. I honestly don't know, Mama in Christ. I don't know if they're heirloom. I don't think they are, but because
they produce like crazy.
They produce like crazy. Yeah. We ferment the feed with our extra milk because we have so much milk from our cows, and we just, they feed on that. Yeah. They waste so much less. Yep. They
get more nutrition.
They get way more nutrition. The milk, it sits overnight, and they get it in the morning, and they love it. Yep. They absolutely love it. And we started when they were very little. Within like a week of getting them, we started giving it to them that way.
They're super healthy too.
Yeah.
So Delaney B says, my mom works in an egg distribution place. I would recommend you get chickens if you can. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something about Delaney B. She comes to the Bible devotion that I do Monday through Friday on Big Family Devotions, which, come on over. It's Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning, Central. But she doesn't usually make fabrications up.
No, she doesn't.
I would say that I've never heard one.
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, she makes the occasional really silly joke, which that's fun.
Yes, definitely silly jokes. Yeah.
So anyway, Lola Granola, the chicken duola. Do you have any videos yet on your chickens? Because she's like the Duke of Cluck, or the Duchess of Cluckus. I don't know. There's got to be a name in there somewhere. But if she's got a set of videos, she'd be somebody to look into. So moving on. Okay, eggs. Boom. What do you think is next?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked.
Oh, you're supposed to.
Should I guess?
Sure. I think it rhymes with orn.
Yeah.
It's
corn.
It's corn.
It's corn.
It's corn.
It's corn. Yeah. Corn. Not a fan of it anyway.
But it's in everything.
And it is in everything. Yeah.
Corn.
Corn. It's let's see. What is it saying? The industry and regulators keep close watch on how much corn is produced. Why would they do that? Why would they keep watch on how much is produced? Don't they want more?
They need to regulate what the public is allowed.
Sure.
You can't take the king's corn.
Oh, sure.
You can't shoot the king's deer. You can't fish in the king's waters. Not unless you give them a bunch of money and a permit. And
okay, so farmers.
Was that spicy?
Yes, a lot. So it's oil, high fructose corn syrup. It's canned. There's solid corn, fresh. It's fresh corn. It's everywhere. Everything. It is in everything you eat, unless you grow your own food. The farmers are set to plant 89.5 million acres of corn crops. About 4% less than they had in 2021. So they're planting less corn than before.
Yeah.
Yowza. So that's gonna be a significant significant decline in supply.
Tiffany Gregory says, if you're not a fan of corn, get some for bartering. You are spot on. Let me tell you what, animal feed. If you're not planning on getting corn for yourself to eat, you may consider cracked corn, because animals can eat that. It's a better barter item all the way around. Because if you wanted to make it into maize, there is a process called nixtamalization, and I think I got that right.
Yep.
Nixtamalization, that you can make it into tortillas and stuff, and your body can digest it far better than just trying to grind it into flour. Good luck. I mean, you'll get a little nutrition out of it, but not much.
No.
So,
no.
But animals, yeah.
Goodness. Yeah, no.
Corn. We saw a documentary called King Corn.
Oh.
And it really changed our minds about it,
Yeah.
because they have done studies on the human genome and DNA and all that. And evidently it's starting to change the basic foundation building blocks of life, what it is to be a human. There's so much corn that it's actually changing and altering the genome.
Yeah. Yeah. Because everything, if you eat processed foods, even cornflakes, any kind of anything. A lot of food has corn in it, and it is changing your body makeup.
And Linda, you are correct. Jimmy did crack corn, and I don't know why he still doesn't care.
I still don't care.
He doesn't care. Evidently, it must not be a big deal to crack corn.
No.
Jimmy cracked corn, but he just doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
All right, moving on.
No, let's
Ready?
move on.
Mark
Yep.
set?
Butter.
Not really surprising.
Not surprising in any way. The reduction or the increase in price of butter, which has been $2 for us.
Oh my gosh.
No. Where we're at. And it's because of the lower production of milk.
Well,
or the
controlled
reduced
production
of milk. Yeah. Right.
Guys, you got to understand something. Since we live up here in, the country's derriere. Oh, I see how you took that. Come to Wisconsin and smell our derriere. Anyway, knowing a lot of farmers around here, they say that we import just an unreal amount of milk from Canada.
Yes.
And why? because we don't have enough. No, the farmers have way more.
It's being wasted.
Yep.
It's being dumped because they can't use it all.
Because of regulation.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. No, Debbie, I'm saying our butter has gone up $2. So
it's not $2 a pound.
It's not $2 a pound. I wish. No, it's $4 to $4.50 a pound.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So what do you guys pay for butter? Scott's saying $7 a pound. You can make butter if you have cow. You got it. If you have, see him getting all excited. You have cow.
You have cow. You have cow. We have cow. You make milk.
We got cowed.
Right.
It's a verb now. We're going cowing. It's not a. That's not even a correct. We're going cowing. Okay.
Oh my.
So it's $4.50 a pound here.
Yeah. 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 The 2-pound package of cheap butter at Walmart. Cheap butter at Walmart is $8.50.
Yahtzee.
Yeah. So that would be $4.25. So
right.
Buying by 2 pounds is cheaper than buying by the 1 pound.
Let's see what else they say will be in short supply in 2023.
Yep. Oil.
Not surprising.
Not surprising in any way. If they're reducing the amount of corn that's being produced, we're going to have a reduction in
all kinds of things.
Corn oil. And then, sunflower oil is being reduced. There's a lot of storms and hurricanes and this blight that's
natural
happening.
Disasters.
It's natural. Have you guys watched Interstellar?
If you like science
sci-fi?
fiction movies that are not based in biblical truth,
right.
If you like science fiction movies that is just a story, it's one of the best sci-fi films. I think it's in my top 10, and I really like Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yeah,
and it's up there. It's really good.
I think the music really makes it for.
Oh, the music is
amazing.
Good.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's in our potential. Well, it's not possible because in scriptures we know how the book ends.
But I'm talking about the farming situations that's going on. This blight is, happening a lot.
Consuming everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the monoculture
right.
Way that people farm stuff.
Right. So a lot of folks are talking about, make ghee. Yes, make ghee, but that comes from butter.
Right.
If you are able to raise pigs, use the lard, make lard.
We don't eat pig.
We don't raise pigs anymore. We're kind of cutting back on the amount of pork that we eat. But I still have a ton of lard that I had canned. And so we'll use that for our oil needs.
I'll tell you what the scoop is like for you guys, because we know we've got a lot of Torah observant friends and people that watch this channel, and promise you, Scout's Honor, we're for you.
Yes.
Scout's Honor. This is not a negative thing.
Not at all.
No, it's just that we used to do that. And actually we did keep kosher for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And then we kind of just went back into it, probably because it's cheaper. And we didn't feel like the burden on us was necessary biblically.
Right.
But we understand that there are people that feel like you got to do that, and okay, you got to do that. You got to do that. But we've been whittling it down to where it's almost gone, but we still like bacon. Got to be honest.
Still like bacon. I still like my ham on my, ham and cheese sandwich. Yes.
Yeah.
But so we do use lard on occasion. Yes, we know that some folks are Torah observant, so
we get it.
Yep,
and you know
we
what?
get
We're
it.
not
That is a
against
choice.
you.
That is a choice that you have made. And
I will say this though, that a lot of people that are Torah observant feel like it's their job to kind of yell at people and say you're naughty and bad if you do that and eat bacon. Well, you know what? Biblically, I don't have that burden, and so I'm not going to go after you.
No,
don't go after us.
Right.
Okay, moving on. Here we go.
Where are we at here?
This one is, we lived in Florida for quite a while.
This one's not surprising.
But it's completely 100% driven on the weather and environmental stuff like bugs.
Yep. This is oranges. Oranges have been decimated this year because of Hurricane Ian. I almost said Ivan, but that was like 10 years, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was I going to say? Forgot. Yeah, so the orange crop just was decimated by the hurricane, by Hurricane Ian and Tropical Storm Nicole. So it was they're just gone. I mean, not gone, but it took all the buds. It took all of the buds, so nothing grew. I'm sure a lot of trees were uprooted. But yeah, oranges and orange juice are going to be affected here.
I'm seeing a comment that
Go ahead.
I got to go after it because it's worth mentioning.
Okay.
Marcone or Mark 1, however you say your
I would say
name.
Mark 1.
Right. I don't believe we're running out of food. I believe people will not be able to afford food due to corporate greed. Now, time out. I want to make a comment. I say you're getting ready to rear up.
Nope. I was just...
First of all, I believe part of what you're saying is 100% accurate, and then part of it is needing a little bit of massaging. Part 1, I don't believe we're running out of food. No. Do you realize on 1 acre, if you managed 1 acre of land, you could probably feed 4 families. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking with chicken. Mm-hmm. I'm talking with pork, if that's your thing. I'm talking with other proteins that are animal-based and more. Mm-hmm. Milk goats, milk cow. You can do so much. We had on 1 acre, really only about a half an acre maybe.
I think it was only a third.
We had 18 fruit trees. We had chickens. We had bees. We had a small milk cow, a dairy cow named Dexter. We had goats.
Yes. Multiple goats, rabbits.
And chickens and rabbits. And we did all kinds of stuff. And a huge garden. Mm-hmm. And that was on probably maybe 2/3 of an acre. Maybe. Yeah,
because the fruit trees were up front. Yeah. So it was a 1 acre lot. It was long. So it was a big, long rectangle. We had a third in the back for the animals and then a third in the front for the fruit trees. So we had so much food.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that was part 1 of the comment. Mm-hmm. This idea that there's not going to be enough food for people, it's completely based on one thing and one thing only: government control of how farmers do their business. Mm-hmm. We've gotten to a monoculture way of these massive farms, and they'll only do corn, or they'll only do this,
soybean,
or they'll only do that, and there's zero diversity. And you go to different regions, and it's just one gigantic monolith of a thing. Mm-hmm. If they were allowed, they're forced into it because of subsidies, government control, regulations. Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't do this here, you can't do that there. Here's what you can do. If the government would butt out. And if farmers were allowed to actually farm, you know what? They're going to make more money. Yep. They're going to serve their local community far better. People are going to get healthier. But that doesn't keep the hands of control in the government.
Right.
They don't want that.
Right.
They want you to buy your dang cornflakes from Kellogg's. The end. Why? Because Kellogg's gave them a bunch of money to get elected.
Yep.
Did I say that out loud?
You did. You did.
And it goes on and on and on and on. So that's the thing. If the government would butt out of farmers' worlds, we'd all be better off. Mm-hmm. But they won't, because there's money involved. There's money. Mm-hmm. Moving on. Had to say it.
No, it was definitely needing to be said.
Now, we realize this one is not for everybody.
No. Champagne.
Champagne.
Yes. There was it a blight again?
Because champagne is literally white wine.
It's okay. So the wine enthusiast reports that demand for the traditionally celebratory beverage dropped 18% in 2020. They linked the bleak state of affairs caused by the COVID pandemic and widespread lockdown. So nobody was out celebrating. So the cost is going up, or the shortage. So they've stopped making it.
The manufactured shortage.
Yeah. Okay. Now there's the Champagne region, followed by an unseasonal period of frost, destroyed grapevines.
Cheezo Pete's.
There, done. Yeah. So you know what?
Not really interested in that one. Just not.
Just not interested because.
Okay.
Yeah. It's great.
There you go. Moving on. Blink
Right.
180. It was 181. Blink 181. It wasn't 187. So anyway.
Huh?
There's a band. It's called Blink
It's Blink
182.
182. I'm like, wait, what?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Number 3 on the list.
Number 3.
This one goes hand in hand. Boom.
Hand in hand with the champagne, but kind of, it's beer.
And again, we realize this one is probably not going to affect a lot of our viewers.
No. It's a shortage in the aluminum because the aluminum comes from where? I forget. Isn't it over in Russia?
No,
there's factories in the United States that have closed. Factories that were manufacturing the aluminum had closed. That was what it was.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, and I would imagine hops and barley are taking a hit.
Probably.
Because that's...
Probably, yep.
crop.
Yeah, China issued a reduction in aluminum processing also to cut down on pollution. Aluminum, their supply dropped 20%.
Yeah.
Yowza. Okay.
So, and you know what? Here's the thing, guys. It's completely, if you consume that beverage, you can make it. You can make it at home.
Yep.
If you consume those spirits, which I don't suggest you do, but if you did, you can buy legal distilling items, completely legal. You can get them. You can even register them with the ATF. And I know this because I looked into it for fuel. You can actually get a distiller to make fuel. Like our old 8N tractor can run on alcohol. And a lot of old tractors can. You just got to do a few tweaks to them. And some can just the way they are. Because originally they were designed for farmers to actually be able to grow, make their own fuel for their tractors until, guess what? Government got involved and regulations happened and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, you can get that. You can get those things. It's completely legal to buy. And that's probably about all I want to say about that. So not for us, but if you needed to power a machine that'll work with alcohol, you can do it.
Yeah.
All right. Top 2. This one.
This one was surprised
me. Ready?
Yep. It totally surprised me.
Boom.
Lettuce and leafy greens.
And so easy to grow.
It's super easy to grow. You can grow this in your kitchen. I mean, this is just insane. So according to the Grower Shipper Association, the region in and around the agricultural cradle of Salinas experienced multiple unseasonable periods of warm weather, which upset and scorched the plants. Were they crying? It upset them?
They got up.
They
were definitely
upset. Yeah.
put out.
Right. So scorched lettuce plants, which weakened, they were weakened by the effects of the heat. Lettuce crop was left vulnerable to disease. So, yeah, lettuce, leafy greens, they like a colder climate. So, yeah, that's grow it yourself.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the green stalk growing towers. Lettuces jam in those things. We had them just growing so fast and so thick, we couldn't eat it all.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the only trick to it, though, is if you get one of those vertical towers, you've got to water them every day.
Yes.
It dries out. They dry out really quick.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
That they do.
All right. You ready for number 1, folks? This one? Okay,
not surprising.
So if you're coming in a little bit late, we're talking about the things that the muckety mucks, the knowledgeable people at Food, the Happy Daily Meal.
The Daily Meal, yeah.
Says the number 1 shortage or will go so expensive it's going to be hard to get. Can you guess what it is? What would be the one thing food-wise that we have not yet talked about? This will be the obvious duh, of course. But it'll either be so expensive or it'll be really hard to get. What's your guess?
I know, but
You
because
can
I'm
see the
looking at it.
picture.
Right.
All right. Well, we're just going there. I'm sure people will be typing it in because there's a delay.
Right.
And your market set. Here we go.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep. Beef. It's what's for dinner.
Beef. Yep. So tell them why they say they think this is the case. To me, it's a duh moment.
Well, they're stating that because of a devastating drought in Texas, which is responsible for 14% of U.S. beef supply, led to a lack of grass to feed the cows. So alternative feeds were currently too expensive and to be cost effective. So you're either going to have beef that has skyrocketed to $20 a pound,
Woo.
or you won't have it at all. I mean,
Yeah. You know what? One crazy thing. Well, we are blessed with having a couple acres that we can put cows on.
Yeah.
And so we have our dairy cows for our daughter Grace because she needs the raw milk. And we were looking at the writing on the wall, and we realized, okay, if things are going to go up 20%, 30%, 40%, it's time to go ahead and send one of our cows that was intended to be a beef cow or a breeder.
or a dairy cow. Yeah.
But it was time to make that decision as to, is she going to be a breeder or is she going to be freezer camp?
Right.
We were looking at the prices, and she just got taken to our meat processors
this past week. Yep. We had to make a hard decision, like you said, whether or not we keep her and continue to feed her through the winter. It was really it was a hard call. I mean, we actually tried to get them all bred this year, and none of them took. So we had we got them bred more. We tried to get them bred more than once, and none of them took. So it was, okay, what are we going to do for beef for the next year? Because yes, we have one growing, but we still needed to have another one put in the freezer this year. And so,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Phoebe, I know Phoebe Long lives in Canada. We know that because she comes to the Bible Devo. And $3.99 for ground beef on sale.
Yeah, that's what it is here.
On sale.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, it's normally, between $5 and $6 a pound.
Well,
for ground beef, and that's the garbage stuff.
Joan says, I haven't bought steak in 3 years, can't afford it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Which is why we made that decision. And you know what? I know not everybody can get into raising your own protein.
Yeah.
But if you can, you really should try to get on that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have a small amount of property, they do have mini cows. They are more expensive to get them started, but it's better to have it live on the hoof than
that's just beef. Delaney B makes a great point. Venison is a great alternative. I would find out what the laws are in your own area. If you have acreage, do you have to have a tag if you shoot it on your own property?
Oh, I don't know.
Because why should the government get a tax? I understand that we should be responsible in terms of not over harvesting the deer, or else you're just going to destroy the population.
Right.
But it drives me nuts to think that when you tally up the cost of your pew, you tally up the cost of the gear they force you to wear, you tally up the cost of the tag, pretty soon you're already at $9 a pound.
Yeah. Yeah. You're spending so much money on all of the gear that you need to get this. I actually was reading a comment on a video not too long ago, and these folks were, call your butcher and see if there's any venison that has not been picked up.
It happens a lot.
It does happen a lot where the butcher says you only have a certain amount of time before you can come pick this up. Otherwise, I'm going to sell it for, $2.99 a pound or whatever it is. I don't even know. But yeah, check that out because you can get meat a lot cheaper then.
And I've got a great tip for you guys. For you folks out there who are saying, well, I can't afford beef, I can't afford steak, I can't afford this or that. When we dropped our cow off at the processors, I was talking to the guy who owns the place. They're a Mennonite family. Great people. Oh my gosh, these people are salt of the earth.
Yeah.
But a dog food company that sells raw chicken, raw beef, raw this, reached out to us to say, hey, would you want a bunch of this stuff and then exchange if you like it, make a video, meaning, hey, will you sell our stuff?
Yeah.
And we haven't said anything about it, but I brought it up to the guy that owns this meat processing place. And I said, so I'm curious because these people are charging $8 a pound for dog food.
Waste.
Which is the scraps. It's all the meat, little chunks and pieces that he would normally cut off and throw away. So they're selling it. They're getting it from these people who are butchers, and they're selling it at $8 a pound. And I thought, holy mackerel, there's got to be just tons of profit in that.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, I said, so when you have your scraps and the bones and all that kind of stuff, when you're done with it, what do you do with it? He said, well, legally, I have to hire a company that can come take it away in a sanitary fashion, and they charge him.
Yeah, he has to pay to have it hauled away.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
So here's my point. I know that was a long, 3-minute story, but here's my point. For those of you who are saying, I really wish that I could have this or that, I'll bet you could go and get those bones and some of the little meat pieces for free because they have to pay to take it away. Or it could be 20 cents a pound or something just goofy. Find a butcher in your area because they have to pay to have it taken away.
Yeah.
And then you could can that bone broth. You could make gallons and gallons and gallons of bone broth for either free or super cheap.
Right.
You just got to talk to them. Ask.
Yeah. There's another way that you could get around, the expensive prices of beef is try and find somebody look on Craigslist or fake Facebook Marketplace. Find people that are selling like a quarter of a cow or a half a cow.
Yep.
You can buy it in smaller amounts if you can't raise your own.
True.
So that's another alternative. But yeah.
Okay, rounding out the afternoon here, since we didn't really talk about Thrive Life at all, we're not gonna, but if you're interested in freeze-dried food, there's a link down below.
There's a really good sale right now. There's 5 items that are 50% off each of those items. So that's going through.
There's only a few more days.
Monday. Yeah, it ends Monday. So.
Yes. So that, and also if you're looking for a place to study the Word of God, Bible Devo, it's Big Family Homestead. No, sorry. Big Family Devotions channel. And that's Monday through Friday, 8:30 in the morning Central.
Yep.
Now, we don't fight about Scripture. So if you're into fighting about Scripture, you're probably not going to have a good time there because we shut it down real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
everybody is allowed to have their own opinion. We get along. We pray with each other. We read. Yep. Matter of fact, we're in Nehemiah. Farva, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, geez. No. Well, thank you, Farva. Thank you for that. So, Monday through Friday, there will be a little thing here at the end. Also, if you are able and willing, Patreon, we gratefully help. That does help us out. And cookbook.
Yes.
Here, I actually have a screen.
What?
I do.
Awesome.
I know it's past the holidays.
It is past the holidays. But we do have 4 different cookbooks. The holiday one has a lot of our favorite holiday recipes in it, hence Homestead for the Holidays. But the first 3 are all different. There's only one duplicate recipe in all of them because it's my favorite one. Yeah. But yeah, so check them out. They're pretty reasonable right now. Not right now. They're always reasonable. Yeah. So. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. Let's say goodbye. And hey, the scripture songs that I do, there's one in here. It's it's the newest one. It's Psalm 125. There are no other lyrics. It's only straight scripture and music. And thank you guys for hanging out.
Yep.
We truthfully appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. But those who turn aside to their crooked ways, the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forever.